Sci-fi is now all around us. It's been decades since this revolution has happened. Just without the self-aware robots taking over the world and becoming overlords, making us work in mines. On the contrary, they are being deployed in spacecrafts to help them dock. But some of them are even vacuuming our kitchens spotless. Technology is, and always will be, a catalyst for change. Just not as violent as movies make us think it would be, but there's still a whole lot of history that went into these robots that we use today, and some problems that the engineers struggled with 3-4 decades ago still remain unsolved. All the convenience we already enjoy thanks to these robots took decades of work by engineers and scientists. So it might just help people like you and I understand why do we not have these super intelligent robots taking over the earth or even taking care of all our daily needs. But if we are going to talk about the evolution of robots, we might as well just go ahead and talk about what a robot is. It's a quite simple idea. So a robot is a machine designed to accomplish a particular task. That's it, no more, no less. The robots have sensors for inputs, control systems for decision making, and effectors for output. Sounds simple enough, doesn't it? But it has taken decades of work to get right. It might come as a surprise to a lot of you that the laws of robotics have not found their inception through a physicist or an engineer. Rather, an author called Isaac Asimov has made these laws and coined the term robotics in the process. The modern-day laws are also loosely based on this.
I'm interested, and I think everybody is interested in the 3 laws of robotics. Could you explain those?
Well, back in 1939, I began writing robot stories, and by the time I'd written 2 and 3, there was a pattern in these stories which John Campbell, the editor of Astounding Science Fiction and my literary father, pointed out to me. He said I was having my robots behave as though they were guided by 3 laws.
But could your 3 laws of robotics be overloaded on the side of humanism? There are those who believe that the machines we create are going to be Frankensteins.
Well, of course, the 3 laws of robotics were originally invented by me in order to avoid the Frankenstein motive, because before I wrote my stories, most robot stories were filled with this Frankenstein bit about the robot destroying its creator. There are some things that men were not meant to know. However, having worked with the 3 laws for 35 years practically, I was asked to write a robot story to end all robot stories, so I wrote one in which robots became so intelligent that by any reasonable definition, they defined themselves as human beings, you see. So that now the 3 laws of robotics became the 3 laws of humanics. And we're right back to the Frankenstein motif. I received letters from readers saying, does this mean you're never going to write any more robot stories? And I wrote back saying, don't worry, if I think of a good robot story, I'll write it anyway.
Now, the concepts of artificial servants or soldiers date at least as far back as the ancient legends and mythologies. And if I talked about every little step or advancement of these robots, you'd probably have to sit here all day. So I'll try to put it as simple as possible. So what I've done here is I've segregated this into various generations. So I think the industry is a good place to start, because that's where robots originally started to add purpose. Since factory work can be repetitive and requires quite heavy lifting, it's ideal to employ robots in this domain. The world's first industrial robot, Unimate, was installed in a General Motors production line in New Jersey, 1961. The original Unimate consisted of a large computer-like box joined with another box which was connected to an arm. It had systematic tasks stored in a huge magnetic drum. The machine undertook the job of transporting die castings from an assembly line and welding these parts into auto bodies. A dangerous task for workers who might be poisoned by the toxic fumes or lose a limb if they were not careful enough. From then on, Japanese robots have led the field. Waseda University initiated the Wobot project in 1967 and in 1972 completed the Wobot 1, the world's first full-scale humanoid intelligent robot. Its limb control system allowed it to walk with lower limbs and to grip and transport objects with hands using tactile sensors. Its vision system allowed it to measure distances and directions to objects. Using external receptors, artificial eyes, and ears, it was the best of its time. And it could also converse in Japanese with people using a conversation system and an artificial mouth. This was truly the world's first android. Android being man-like, and it truly lived up to its meaning. Another bot from this generation is the SCARA, or the SCARA. This acronym stands for Selective Compliance Assembly Robot Arm. By virtue, it's only an arm which was rigid in the Z-axis and pliable in the X and Y. The jointed two-link arm layout is the closest we could get that time to our human arms. It was quite beneficial in the transferring domain, where it could transfer parts from one cell to another or for loading and unloading processes. To be honest, really, it's a beautiful invention for lazy people like me. Else I wouldn't even get up for the TV remote myself. Moving on, we have the third generation. Now, the third generation did not have much of a leap, but boy oh boy did it take the world by storm when it did. Presenting to you Wobot 2, the musical robot. This bot could not only read musical score, but also play, thanks to its inbuilt motors in the arms.
What would be the most nightmare scenario you can imagine with AI and robotics that might present a danger to people?
The most nightmare scenario I can imagine with AI and robotics is a world where robots have become so powerful that they are able to control or manipulate humans without their knowledge.
With that, we move to Gen 4 and the first of its kind, Artificial Intelligent Robots, or the AIBO, which is a part of a series of robotic pets designed and manufactured by Sony, having actuators for lifelike movements in its legs, neck and tail. Imagine having a pet, but none of the dirty work. Isn't it a dream? With sensors to enable touch, sight, range finding, and actual dog-like speed, this one's a keeper. In November 2017, Sony announced a new generation of AIBO after almost 11 years. They promise that this one is going to be more dog-like than ever. I can't really wait for its reveal, can you? So with that said, let's move to another bot in this generation where the artificial intelligence really shines through. Originally designed to test how machines work in microgravity, this one outshone its predecessors with a wider range of sensing, reduced flammability, and reduced electromagnetic interference. It is the perfect space help for the International Space Station. According to experts, any robot of a sort yet to be seriously put into operation is a fourth-generation robot. Examples of these might include robots that reproduce and evolve, or those that incorporate biological as well as mechanical components. Past that, we might say that a fifth-generation robot is something that nobody has designed, but there is still a robot I would like to talk about that brings the world's tomorrow to its today. This is Sophia, the robot celebrity mostly known for her human-like appearance and behavior compared to its previous robotic variants. Sophia uses artificial intelligence, visual data processing, and facial recognition. Sophia also imitates human gestures and facial expressions. She herself is capable of more than 200 different facial expressions. She can even answer certain questions and make simple conversation on predefined topics. Sophia uses speech-to-text technology and is designed to get smarter over time. The information is shared in a cloud network which allows input and responses to be analyzed in a blockchain technology. She was designed predominantly to help the elderly in nursing homes.